Hi, this is Attorney Mike Gravel coming to you from Chicago as usual, and today we're going to look at Better Call Saul Season 2, Episode 3. It's called Amarillo, and it's good stuff. Welcome to Law Talk. Okay, this episode starts with Jimmy setting up a meeting in an unethical way to meet his clients from Sandpiper Crossings. He obviously pays somebody to stop a bus full of Sandpiper residents and then goes in there. All this is an attempt to sign up more business.
Like a storybook ending, I'm lost in your charm.
You got 5 minutes.
Okay, this is sort of fun. He's being kind of a hams to obviously make a scene so that everybody else knows what he's talking about and he can get more people. But in all honesty, it's not necessary. If you're talking to one of your clients and you're in a suit, the people around will figure out they're an attorney. If they're similarly situated, they'll be interested and want to talk to you. It's happened in my practice. You don't need to go this far, but still, it's Better Call Saul and it's fun.
Do you prefer to be called Mrs. Urbano or Alma May or just plain Alma? My last name is McGill, but you can call me Jimmy. Hey everyone, my name's Jimmy McGill. I'm an attorney at law, but don't mind me. Just talk amongst yourselves.
Here, Jimmy just continues to lay it on thick.
And nothing makes me sadder than to see people of the greatest generation, people like my own Nana and Bobo, getting overcharged by some great big company.
And the strategy seemed to work well.
Jimmy? You still with us? I'm going to save you from having to brag. Over 200 new Sandpiper clients signed over the past 3 weeks. Well done, Jimmy.
Thank you. Thanks, Cliff.
Of course, Chuck has to rain on Jimmy's parade because, well, that's what he does. The whole issue of solicitation here is kind of interesting. I'll give you the short version. You can't contact clients. They have to contact you. It gets a lot more specific than that, but I'm trying to not have this turn into a continuing legal education video. But of course, Chuck doesn't really care about the solicitation or the ethical concerns involved here. He's just jealous, and so he has to be nasty to his brother as usual.
Well, you're welcome. I mean, what, is there a problem?
Well, might not some parties, the opposing counsel, for example, see this differential and conclude that there may have been some solicitation involved?
I like this next bit because it's both funny and accurate. It's sort of good writing. Clearly, it's unethical for him to pay somebody to stop a bus, although the same thing could have been accomplished by waiting till they get to the restaurant, which is where the elderly people were headed, and he could have walked in there and done the same thing, but it wouldn't have been as fun. But this sort of stuff happens every day. I did a video on this called 4 Red Flags. I'll put a link up above. But I know that direct solicitation happens on a regular basis because a lot of times my clients will call me because them or a family member was in an accident or something, and they'll say, "Why are all these other attorneys calling me?" And it's clearly unethical solicitation. So I know it happens all the time. I don't do it, but it's just kind of neat to see a show sort of handle it in a reasonable way.
Chuck in there? Jesus, solicitation? Let me tell you, when we were building this case, I was chasing down 80-year-old mall walkers. That was solicitation. But did he say boo? Bullshit, he did.
If you like any of this content, the best way to support me and the channel is to hit like, subscribe, share with friends, and put some comments in the comment section below. So Jimmy gets the idea of running a TV commercial instead of trying to meet all these people face to face, which is good because the facilities are spread out throughout the region and it would be hard to do that way. And he pitches it to Cliff Main, the guy who seems to be in charge of the new law firm that he's working at.
They always leave 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. free. Why? Murder, She Wrote. It's been in syndication since like the 1850s. And let me tell you, when that thing comes on, it draws the blue hairs like moths to a bug zapper.
Cliff doesn't exactly sign on to it, but, says that he's open to it here.
Guaranteed eyeballs, lots of them. There's nothing Sandpiper can do about that.
We ran a commercial a few years back, another class action case, kind of a new thing for us. And it's not exactly my go-to, but generally speaking, I'm open to it. We will talk next week.
Jimmy, of course, takes that as consent and goes to shoot a commercial. And in order to do so, he hires the horrible film crew he had from the Hero episode. I can't remember which one off the top of my head. I did a video on it. It's from the first season. It's called Hero, if you want to look it up and see that. But the film crew is there, and they're annoying as always. And this sets up this episode's favorite line.
Okay, it's a oneer, and it's shot in glorious black and white. We can do that, right?
Yeah. So that's it? Old lady in the chair? Chair commercial?
Does anybody like you?
So Jimmy actually puts out a pretty decent commercial. It's only slightly over the top.
They told me they'd take care of everything, but then one day they said all my money was gone. How could that be? Where did it all go?
That's not a real tear, is it?
If you were a loved one
It's
as a resident of a sand...
That surprised me. I thought they would get a little more exaggerated with that. Something more in line with one of my favorite law commercials of all time.
Brian Wilson, Texas Law Hawk, Hounds of Justice. Brian Wilson, the Texas Law Hawk, hunger for justice. Brian Wilson.
All right, we also have to check in with Mike. He's been doing work, mostly security type stuff for criminals, namely the world's worst drug dealer, apparently whose name was Dan. But he's taking on more serious tasks because he's under pressure to get more money to help his daughter-in-law and granddaughter.
This problem, is it a who or a what?
There's a guy. I need him to go away.
All right, the takeaway from this episode is that Jimmy runs into the friction you'd expect by producing a commercial at his new firm without consent, and Mike is getting deeper and deeper into the criminal world. Here at Law Talk, we do a lot of videos answering common legal questions. We also do reviews of law in the movies and then on TV. We also share some of our more interesting cases. We're always putting out new videos. So if you like that, please hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell.